is brought to you by visitlauderdale.com.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live today from the Pizza Spot, the one and only Pizza Spot, with Wade and Reese behind me in the window. They're working the ovens, they're working the cashier. It's a really crowded lunch rush here, but we are here on the Lunchbox. I'm Mike Mayo, joined by Jeff Defo DeForest. The silent partner again today is Mike Lubie Lubitz, working the switchboard, and we have a lot of special guests here today, so let's get right to it. Making his Lunchbox debut.
I think it's his television debut.
Or his
streaming debut.
Not
I don't
just
know. He
Joe
might have been on
Cassell,
TV.
who is a friend of the show and become a friend of mine, a long time, well, he's been a sports agent, he's been a restaurateur, so he fits perfectly on the Lunchbox, the themes of food and sports, but more importantly, he is now the proud, I guess, what do you call it, the handler or cohabitant
Uber driver
of the star of Delray Beach. This dog has become quite the internet sensation. It's the one and only Tasso is out here,
and named after food, named after Tasso ham.
Tasso,
So
man.
there you go.
This is why we love Joe, because he's intricately involved in the food and sports scenes. And tell us the story about Tasso. Now, Tasso, again, it's a New Orleans dish, or Louisiana dish. It's a ham that's used in a lot of dishes there.
It's a Tasso ham, and he's a rescue dog from he was caught in the Lake Charles, Louisiana hurricane 2 years ago, and he was abandoned to a shelter, and then the shelter ran out of power during the hurricane. He was moved to a New Orleans shelter. There you go.
His name.
There you go.
There he goes.
He was
he
adopted.
knows he's on. Yes.
He was adopted after a day, and then returned for this reason.
Maybe it wasn't
he's
such a good
fired
idea
up.
to have him
Come
as a
here,
guest
bud.
on the show.
And
Did you
then-
tell him what you were paying him?
Come here, right? That's
Yeah,
right.
he finally,
What happened?
he
That's
finally
right.
heard the
He's
scale.
a Florida dog. He already had to pay.
So, some agent Cassell
right.
is.
That's right. And so, and then I adopted him, and so I've had him for 2 years. September 9th was his 2-year gotcha day, as we say with adopted dogs, and he's a trip. He's a real character, and he's adjusted well. And he's the de facto mayor of Delray Beach. Everybody knows him, and he gets to go wherever he wants to go, and it's all been good.
And not only do we have Tasso here and Joe Cassell,
Oh, man.
we
Something
also
smells
have
great.
Tom Tanazzini, who is my food runner today, and
Who makes the best New Orleans
this is, look
food
at Tom.
outside
He's got
of New
his
Orleans?
haircut. We're just having a grand old time, a pizza party at the Pizza Spot in Fort Lauderdale.
Look at
And
this,
we've
Michael. What do you
been
have?
hit with a couple of pizza pies and chicken parm subs, and I don't know what you can see here. Lubie, of course, is handling and rearranging the food.
You guys have serious production issues, though, when it comes to how to display the food at these restaurants. And for the most part, it's usually
pizza in
displayed
boxes
going
to
into our mouths. But
protect it from the elements. You don't have
Yeah.
to worry about the wires. I'm going to dish this. You want this chicken parm there? I'm going to give that to
looks nice.
Tom T, because we got one ourselves.
All right.
I wanted to show everybody the lovely pizzas, but
You
before we
rave
get-
about the chicken parm here. I mean, you
No,
have
no,
convinced me that I'm not leaving here without a chicken parm.
I
so,
got a couple
yeah.
of pies here. One of them, this is it,
Wow.
Defo.
Oh, that's your
Here we
cherry
go.
bomb special?
I'm hiding Joe Cassell's face here, but we've
all
got
right.
the cherry pepper and bacon bomb pizza.
By the way,
And I
that's
get
the way it works in TV, Tasso. You're big 1 minute, the next minute you're a nobody. You start
That's right.
talking about your salary.
Now, I'm going to close the lid on this pie because we want to have a conversation and we want to protect this from the elements. Defo could dig into the chicken parm and
Elements, also
very,
known as
very
Tasso.
tempting. Yeah.
As he's
Tasso's
staring
good,
the
though. My
food
dog would have
down.
already consumed these 3 meatballs that are in front of us, which, by the way, I mean, another thing just scrumptious here on the menu. I noticed this, too, Mike Mayo. As pizza prices go, and as fabulous as these are, very, very low on the food chain poll. I mean, they were charging like $19 for a large pizza, which I'm seeing
Nowadays.
places now over 30 for a large pizza.
Well, again, Wade and Reese, they're a couple that run this shop, and they try to keep things on the low side for the common man. They don't have delivery. They're not on delivery apps. If you want his pizza, you got to show up here at the window because he's an artisan. He's a craftsman. He practices the New Haven pizza style, which is thin and crispy, and it's best consumed straight out of the oven. And he doesn't want to hear complaints about people who get a cold pizza a half hour or an hour later on the Uber Eats. And Joe, you've been here before. You're a New Haven guy.
I'm a New Haven guy, so this is legit New Haven pizza. It's outstanding.
And, there's one up there in the Delray Beach area where you live called Abitz. They do a traditional clam pie, and it's a very thin, crispy one. And again, when it comes to New Haven pizza, the more the merrier. And I think it's great that this representation is making its way down to South Florida. And I hear that, Pepe's Pizza is going to be branching out with a couple of locations soon. But for now, you come out to the pizza spot, support our friends Wade and Reese. And I was happy to see a big lunch crew out here. A little bit of rainstorm is passing through now, but that's okay. Joe, I wanted to ask you, so for the people who might not know, and we're simulcasting on the Let's Eat South Florida group today, and I know you're a member of that group and Best of Delray Beach, but tell us a little bit about your background, both in sports and food. Like you were an agent and also owned a restaurant in Delray Beach.
Well, my family was a restaurant family forever.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Florida over 30 years ago, I didn't want to get involved. I was more involved as an agent side. And then the food thing just kind of came up. A friend of mine owned a restaurant in Delray Beach. Partnered with him for a while called Damiano's, which is now Dada.
Oh, that's
in
the
Delray.
building.
That's
the building
Dada.
It's a place he didn't like, had a bad experience there, and now he likes it.
Yeah.
Don't misrepresent.
No, I mean,
it's a beautiful old building. I love the patio, the front porch. It's a great place in the wintertime. And a beautiful bar, good mojitos.
You admit to making a face, though, when I mentioned it the first time on the show.
I've had some incidents with the food at Dada, but I would have loved to have tried Damiano's. I never did try it. I wasn't the food. Look at this. Lubie is cutting up sandwiches in quarters.
I have a piece of the meatball. That's going in first, the meatball.
To dive in. But I wanted to get in today, Joe, because you've been involved a little bit with the NFL now, but also you were big in the tennis world. And today we have the announcement that Roger Federer, one of the all-time greats, is retired.
Retiring?
You knew knew Federer. You had some relations with him. Why don't you tell us a little bit about?
I was the
Didn't
person.
you fly around with Federer in a private jet?
A couple of times.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
And then, but Roger was the first non-American athlete to ring the bell at the NASDAQ. And I did that deal for Roger when he was at playing in Miami.
That wasn't a couple of days ago when it tanked by 1,000 points.
I know.
I was going to say, because Roger usually is a lucky guy.
But the great thing about Roger is that Roger's a better person than he is a tennis
What a
player.
gentleman, huh?
He's a super, super guy. And, it's funny because you meet a lot of athletes and there's a lot and they easy buddy. And you meet a lot of athletes and they run the gamut of being really nice or not being nice. And then, my experience as an agent has always been the people that the media say are bad people are usually tremendous, easy buddy. And then the people that are live TV, there you go, easy buddy.
You got to love it. Mayo loves presiding over his circus.
Yes.
He really does.
Buddy,
this is a three-wing circus.
Gotta let Lubie do his job.
Yeah.
Easy.
Might have to take this one up to set.
Yeah.
Let me set the stage. Well, at least he hasn't started urinating. That's always a good thing. No. It's all good. Tasso is obviously excited by all the. I mean, we've got Tom
A lot of
T
traffic
here.
coming through.
We've got pizzas
Tasso,
coming.
stop.
We've got subs. We've got meatballs. We've got the lunch crowd. We've got rain pouring down. We've got Lubie trying to save his equipment from the downpour of the rain. But that's all good because you know why, Defo?
We're having fun.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
We have Peronis, which
That's
is
it.
a Joe Cassell special. We love our Peronis. They go down like water, by the way. And I'm
Tony's and I, what would
toasting-
you compare them to? It's kind of a cross between Heineken. It's like a mild Heineken taste.
Yeah, I would say it's
Mild
kind of like
Heineken.
if you like the Stella Artois, which
Between
is kind of
like a
lighter
Bud and a
lager.
Heineken somewhere, yeah.
I would say like it's the Italian version of a Rolling Rock, a very light.
Do they serve it
drinkable-
warm, though, in Italy? I mean, is that by design? It was never like freezing cold.
Yeah,
I like
it's
my
not
beer like
supposed to be.
freezing
Yeah,
cold. Freezing.
I always put the glass in the freezer before I serve it.
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
You need it cold.
And the beer, too, a lot of the time.
Yeah,
if it's
exactly.
not up to par.
So
I'm with you.
anyway, we're celebrating. Yeah, no, I love a beer because, believe it or not, I know that Defo is sick about hearing me and my doctors and my health
Oh,
appointments.
enough already. Yeah.
Yesterday, we're not even going to mention that C word, not cancer, but colonoscopy. But today was cardiologist day, Defo, and guess what happened?
No, perfect.
It's a perfect meal for all that.
Well, I figure there's no better way to celebrate a trip to cardiologist.
Gotta work
than
those
coming to
arteries.
the pizza spot, but especially when I got the news today, Defo, that not only was my EKG quote perfect, and when he listened to my heart, and I've been going in there,
I was singing, I left my heart in San Francisco.
No, I left my heart at Tom's Louisiana Kitchen because he
yeah.
clogged my heart. No, he said my heart sounded better than it has in the 2 years that he's been treating me.
Walk of life.
He says that, obviously I had some stress earlier this year with the different things going on and different concerns, but
Out
now
of work, out of money, out of, relationships.
It was mainly the
Your
other
daughter
health
turns
issue,
your back on you. I mean,
when you
yeah,
have
yeah.
biopsies of areas, and then it's very uncertain. But everything is now relieved. Everything is clear. And he said, "You sound great. Your heart looks
Oh,
perfect." He goes, "Come back in a year." So I've got a reprieve on the.
They saw that your insurance was running out. That's why.
That's right.
First, they saw you were on Cobra, which is like, oh, geez, we'll never get paid by these guys. And then, so everybody's telling you, hey, you're fine.
No, so what I'm hearing is that
You're in worse shape than the
I don't
Queen.
need
What are you
another-
talking about?
I don't need another colonoscopy for 10 years. I don't need to see the cardiologist for
So
a
you
full
could eat.
year. So I think the 50 sandwiches in a month is the prescription, the
You have
recipe
to
for
eat it
good
first.
health.
You got to break the ice on
So
this chicken
I'm gonna
parm because
go
that is
grab-
your thing of
I'll
choice.
grab the
And you
well
went for the
done
burnt end. Nice. I
Well,
like
we
that.
don't call it burnt.
Oh,
In New
yeah,
Haven,
yeah.
we
Charred,
call it
charred,
well done and charred, and
yeah.
I'll pass it around. But
Looks
I'm
great.
going to toast my good heart health with a good cheesy slice of fried
Joe, you're in on
chicken
this?
cutlet, and I'll say here's to everybody's health.
I'm
Salute.
waiting on a pizza.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
I can understand that. All right. I got to take a bite of this,
delicious.
man.
Wow, good stuff.
Wow. I mean, just the whole feel of it, everything.
Man,
You're being
This
it
is the
wouldn't
way
be
to
a
do it.
lunchbox unless I'm stuffing my face.
Lubie, though, a lousy job cutting this stuff by Lubie.
Yeah, docking some
It's
points.
falling apart. There,
I would have
yeah.
just kept it in halves, but
Yeah, yeah.
Lubie was trying to be generous and have everybody dig in.
All right. Yeah.
That's okay. We're good with Lubie. No, another thing I did want to just mention. It's a little bit on a somber note, but one reason why I like to live and enjoy every day. One of the members of Let's Eat South Florida, who we're simulcasting on now, and a gentleman who used to work at Joe's Stone Crab for a long time and was a very active member and participant on Let's Eat, and actually was a good friend to Tom T. and was a regular customer there at Tom's Louisiana Kitchen at Nobo Brewing in Boynton Beach. A gentleman named Michael David Frank, he passed away suddenly earlier this week.
Wow.
Had some health issue just flare up.
70 years old, man. Yeah, I had the over
Wow.
on this. So.
No, and we met him at Tom's. I met him for the first time, and it's funny because in this day and age, where you get to kind of interact with people online and through social media, and you get a feel for people, and that's how I first met Joe. And I know who I want to actually meet in person and become friends in real life with, not the actual Facebook friend, but people that you want to go break bread, have some conversations. And Michael David Frank seemed like one of those guys because generous soul. He would actually every week prepare meals for the staff at a restaurant up in Delray Beach, that Oceans One Grill out in West
wow.
Delray. And he would bring he would cook stuff at home, bring it to the staff, have a staff meal, and then post pictures of it and share it on the Let's Eat group.
Oh, wow.
So this is a generous guy, and he would go around. He loved to eat out. He loved to meet up in different various food groups. My friend Ellen Freed, he would go to some of her meetups at the different delis and burger places. And again, just a reminder of the fragility of life. And that's why I end every show by saying enjoy every sandwich, because you never know when your time is going to come. But when it comes, make sure that the time you spent on this earth is well spent and well fed, and that is the motto here on the Lunchbox. So I'm going to raise a toast
To Rabbi
and a
Mike
sandwich.
Mayo, man, with the message on the passing. You should have done the eulogy for the Queen, man, and the whole thing would be over.
Well, let's put her in
Right.
the ground already.
Oh, well, that's crazy. I mean, think about this. What's this funeral costing? Joe, you would be able to give a better estimate. You're more well-traveled than I am, certainly, and right up there with Mike Mayo as a world traveler and connoisseur of
We
all
haven't
things.
even seen the food spread yet.
I mean, you got air travel, you've got motorcades,
I
you've got
know.
trumpets, you have bands, you have, magicians. I mean, whatever they can find to bring out there, to bring it out there. It's got to be costing them a fortune. What's interesting about Joe too, you're cooking. You're in New Orleans cooking. You're right up there. I don't know that you're Tom Tanazzini, but you're darn close, right?
Yeah, I enjoy cooking. It's become a passionate hobby, and I was lucky. I mean, I kind of got into it, even though I was in a restaurant family. I never wanted to work in a restaurant. Every time my dad would force me to work in a restaurant, I would intentionally break something in there so he would throw me out. And then my mom got sick in 1992. She got diagnosed with cancer, and I started cooking for her after chemo.
Okay.
And it was the only food that she would hold down for some reason was my food and Hummel's hot dogs, believe it or not. New Haven people know Hummel's hot dogs really well. And so what ended up happening was after she died, I started really getting into it. And she loved New Orleans. And at that time, I had never been to New Orleans. So I made my first trip to New Orleans 6 months after she died in 1993 and fell in love with the city. And go back ever since. I got friendly with a man by the name of Frank Brightson's, who is one of the great chef.
I love his
and owns
restaurant.
Brightson's restaurant in New Orleans, which is, for my money, the best restaurant in New Orleans. And Frank literally taught me how to cook New Orleans food. And I just got into it. And so it's been almost 30 years and been into it ever since. And it's just, like I said, it's a passionate hobby. I love it.
Wonderful.
The great thing about Tom is that there are places here that say they have New Orleans food. It isn't New Orleans food. Tom's place is New Orleans food. You eat that, you eat one bite and you go, yep, this is it.
No,
he's
the real deal. His Holy Trinity, his roux, and all that are great. Defo's a huge fan of New Orleans. They've been going there every other month because of his wife's proclivity for hitting jackpots.
Freebie play.
Harris wants the money back, so they keep flying them out there. Defo, have you ever been to Brightson's restaurant? Because it's one of those places.
I want to say no to that.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, you got to go up. It's up on it's up uptown in the Riverbend area. It's not near downtown.
It's a little out of the touristy areas, but
phenomenal.
It's a great old house. You get the great New Orleans hospitality. His panade rabbit was one of my all-time favorite dishes in New Orleans. Frank is a superhuman being. I first met him through Craig Barnes, former sports editor and sports writer at the Fort Lauderdale
He was a
News
piece of work too.
Piece of work, but Craig knew everybody, and he set me up in there the first time I went with Craig, and then I would go back every time I was in New Orleans. In fact, I think I had my last dinner of the in 1999, going into the year 2000. Me and my then girlfriend, who later became my wife and now ex-wife, Michelle, we went for
That's
dinner.
a natural transition.
Yes.
Girlfriend, wife,
It's the cycle of life. It was very good.
It is the cycle of life.
Repeat. But our final meal of the whatever you call it, the 20th century, was at Brightson's, and we had an early dinner there, and then we went back to the Hyatt.
That's how you won her over? With your good taste.
Yeah, because we were covering it was.
But she served them with divorce papers the first day of 2000.
No, we weren't even engaged until 2000. But anyway, that was back in the pre-honeymoon period. But yeah, I was covering a Sugar Bowl out there, but had a wonderful meal at Brightson's. Always go there, but Defo, it's hard to get him to explore. He just likes going to the Lucky hot dog cart at the
I'm okay with that. You know what?
Oh, you go to the Lucky.
I always try to get a Lucky Dog in when I'm in
you
New
gotta,
Orleans.
yeah.
I
And the
mean,
fact that you've
dietary
lived-
restrictions don't necessarily, the voice in your head is saying no, and then there you are, everything loaded up, chili and cheese.
All that good food in New Orleans, and he goes for the Lucky
Well,
Dog.
I mean, I have other stuff, but no, the Lucky Dog I think
like-
is a prerequisite for
like
any
the
trip to New
Acme
Orleans.
Oyster House, and I'm glad that you went to Felix's and that you found that.
They're all pretty close,
Let's
though.
see.
I don't know that anybody does that much more of a dynamite job on the grilled oysters there than anybody else.
Look who's sidling in now. We're
goodness.
We're gonna have to take our first break. We're here at the pizza spot.
Describe what's going on, because you haven't even shown the people
first of all,
these pizzas
it was
yet, Mike
hilarious
Mayo.
because Lubie reached in for
the
one
queen
of
of the islands.
Yes, we've got
Nikki
Nikki Mohan is back from cruise, rested.
She has that cruise look on her face, doesn't she? The post
She's
cruise.
got a little hat. She's dodging the raindrops. She looks very refreshed, and there she is. Well, she's got to come on, duck in here. There we go.
Really
there you go.
And we're
gonna dive right in.
We're gonna have her. No, so Lubie grabs a chicken parm, but of course the piece that he gets, it slides out the chicken. All he got was the bread and the cheese, so we got the chicken here. But we are just having a pizza party here at the Pizza Spot.
It's great.
And let's take a break, and we'll be back after these words. Thank you, Joe. Thank you,
Thank
Tasso.
you.
So good performance.
pleasure.
Good job, Tasso.
Making your
You made your
Lunchbox
presence known.
debut, and
right?
Tasso was yes, he was a typical star. He was just making his presence
That's
felt.
right.
And a beautiful dog, the star of the
Come here, buddy.
internet. And we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see Tasso next week at the next Best of Del Rey Beach outing down at Bar 25.
He was a big hit the last one.
Yeah.
He was a centerpiece of conversation at that thing.
So it's all good.
Nobody even knew why we were there. It
Yeah,
was
no,
just,
everybody's just they see that necky
whose
look at
business
her.
is this?
Exactly.
She is diving right
And
into
not
the shit.
coincidentally, that place closed after.
Well, this is an
We're not
unfortunate
saying
trend.
there's any jinxes. That's the spot, but
We had to curse Rachel Nichols in sports, where whenever she interviewed some big NBA star, they were gone the next day from
Right.
whatever team they were on or
Yeah.
injured. And Mike, I don't know, he's working on a little bit of a gray voodoo area here with the Lunchbox live. Oh no, the app. It's Dickstein in the app.
it's not okay.
We've been good, yeah.
Yes,
Let's
buddy.
take a break. We'll be back after these words on Lunchbox.
B8.
Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox. And we're back here on a remote edition of the Lunchbox. Visit Lauderdale Thursday. Although this is not an official Visit Lauderdale, stop. The Pizza Spot is one of our sponsors, longtime loyal sponsors of both the Defo show back in the radio days, and now our Lunchbox on our streamcasts and radio show. Again, you can catch us every night, 8 to 9 p.m. on oldiesouthflorida.com if you want to hear the audio replay, but of course every day live and in person, and you get to see the full effects of smell-o-vision,
Describe what's on
eat-o-vision.
that thing, Mike Mayo,
So,
because this is your favorite,
Well,
right?
I'm going to dive
The
into
bacon
this.
cherry
This is
bomb.
I call it the bomb. It's the bacon and hot cherry pepper pizza that they make here at Pizza Spot. And this is Nikki
good.
Mohan's initiation into Pizza Spot. I don't-
No, Carrie Sanders brought me here.
Oh, you've been here with Carrie.
I've
Carrie
been
is
here with Carrie Sanders. Yep.
of course, longtime South Floridian and a star, high-profile NBC News correspondent, happens to live in this neighborhood, and he is a
Why you-
regular here.
For security reasons. Why are you telling people that?
Wow, I'm sorry. I'm not telling them what house.
In fact, there he
might
is.
He might have a stalker.
He's running like Richard Kimball. I mean,
No, I've run into him here in the past, eating some pizzas on a beautiful, I guess it was a spring evening, and a lot of the people in the
He said he was
neighborhood-
here last night because I told him to join us,
be
and he says,
careful,
"Oh,
too, with that first bite, 'cause
Yeah.
it's loaded with the peppers
All right.
there, Mike Mayo.
Well,
and-
let's say welcome back to Nikki. We missed you the last couple of weeks, and it's always a pleasure to see your face.
where
And-
you go? Where was this cruise trip?
oh, I had a couple things going on. I had a couple things. I went to a conference, and then I went on a Virgin Voyage cruise out of Miami.
A Virgin Voyage being the cruise line or
Yep.
theme?
That's the cruise line.
Okay.
Yeah, Virgin Voyage. Richard Branson's extra ship. And so we went. Oh, he doesn't like the truck.
No, it's not a lunchbox until there's either an ambulance siren or a truck backing
And
up
and a dog barking.
and a dog bark.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Tasso's a celebrity dog, though.
And I
Yes.
think the hot cherry peppers are getting to you because that's dangerous to eat while on the
You
air.
think Lassie ever
So
blew a
good.
scene and they had to like do another take because the dog went out of control? Lassie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably so. Right? That show was probably a horror to shoot. You know,
I can't get
Tasso-
enough of these hot cherry peppers. They are. I love when you get that heat that it kind of creeps up on the back of your throat and your
It
mouth,
makes you sweat like this.
and then makes
Yeah.
me sweat. But it's like having a workout without actually having to do the exercise. That's
it's
well,
not,
and
it's
with a
not
full
actually
belly.
a workout.
and again, I don't know if Necky heard the news. All my medical procedures and things. I've gotten a clean bill of health.
Uh-huh.
I went to the cardiologist today. He said my heart sounded like it better than he's ever heard it, and that my EKG was perfect, and that I don't have to go back for a full year. So I am rewarding myself.
Yeah, you
with
know what
this
the problem is
pizza
here?
piece.
It's like giving a gambler a new bankroll.
Right.
And
Exactly.
the guy just came out of rehab, and you're going to give him $2,000 to go get his life restarted, and the next thing you know, he's at the crab stables.
And that was after eating 51 sandwiches in August. So
you were around for that. I mean, it was torture for the audience, and it was painful for those of us associated with the show. I mean, can you believe this guy?
I know. It was delicious, though. We had a couple with
man.
him. I had a couple with him. I love to eat. I
I didn't
and
notice
and,
that.
and he's
That's
good.
why we get along.
No,
so
And
it's
he's
well.
great. I
good
mean,
about
you
good
got right
food.
into this. I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not messing around.
And she's like me. She's not afraid to get down and in it on the air and just enjoy all
Because
this
I
wonderful
think that,
stuff.
I don't like those food TV hosts that are skinny.
Yeah.
Like they get on my nerves.
Makes no
you
sense.
don't look like you eat. I
Oh,
mean, I don't want, you don't all
We're
have to be
naming
Mike
names.
Mayo, but, come on, look like
Yeah.
you eat.
no, let's name names. Giada De Laurentiis. I don't know how she stays so skinny. I've interviewed her once. Everybody asked her that question. She just says
What did
she
she
has
say?
good genes.
Yeah.
And
And a good doctor.
I don't know if I believe it. All I know is that I always say never trust a skinny chef or a skinny food critic because there's no denying that if you're going to be doing the work, you got to put down some calories. But here I love this
Yeah,
slice.
you're not slowing down on that slice there, Mike Mayo. It's great.
You know why?
You have to consume it fast, otherwise, your whole body internally catches fire. I think.
Because it's delicious,
Yeah.
and no matter what that David Portnoy says, and whatever the low score.
Portnoy didn't give this place a bad review, though. I
But
mean,
his
they
score was
benefited.
it was he called it very good pizza, and he kept saying everybody knows the rules, one bite, and then he proceeded to scarf down 2 whole slices.
Yeah.
Because the cheese and the sauce and the crust is so good here. Yeah, so the one that he got was a little floppy, and he graded it a 7.2, which to me is inordinately low for a pizza that, in my estimation, it's one of the best pies in South Florida, let alone Fort Lauderdale.
What do you think, Ducky? Where's it stack up? I mean, you're back here for the
Yeah, no, I
second
love
time
it.
in a
I
short
love
period
it.
of time.
They have really good sauce. I like a thin crust. It's fresh.
And
It's
you
great.
didn't get it straight out of the oven. This is a little bit of a 10-minute cool down. So
Yeah, but it's fine. It's still kind of warm.
Hmm.
There was a good pizza place on the cruise. That was the
Oh,
really
yeah?
popular spot.
yeah?
It was open till 2 a.m. They feed you individually sized pizzas. It's they give you like a chicken pesto, margarita, a white pizza, the vegan pizza, a vegetarian pizza, vegan pizza. They give you a lot of good options, but that was the hot spot. You want to meet anybody? You just go to the pizza place at right after the party.
As opposed to the fancy schmancy restaurant that they, were suggesting
The
reservations.
fancy schmancy restaurants were fun too.
Yeah, oh, good.
what do they
okay.
call
But-
it? The captain's
The captain's
quarters or
quarters.
whatever.
No,
Yeah, right.
no. Well, first of all, they don't have like all their restaurants are open. They're open to everyone, and they're included in the cruise. So you don't have to buy a food package. You don't have to upgrade. But yeah, no, they were good. But I'm a corner
You wanna-
store, corner
You want
restaurant
to hear,
kind of guy.
and I don't know if it's an incredible fact or a not so fun fact about me. You know how many cruises I've been on in my life?
Zero.
Lutarski.
0.0.
Yeah.
I've lived down here. I don't know why. I hear people rave about cruises. I also know that I like to eat, and the concept of being on a floating vessel where there's
I think
like
you're
food
eating
available.
constantly, though, on cruises.
Yeah,
you have the
24
potential.
hours a
That's
day.
why these Midwesterners come off the boat looking like they, should go on the pro wrestling
But
circuit.
that's the good thing about the
Yeah.
Virgin Voyage. There's no buffet, and they're preparing the food for you hot, even in their
Oh, yeah?
24-hour food spot that's in a
Nice.
food hall type thing. And nobody's hanging over your food. They're giving you individual portions of the food, and they're cooking it for you as you order. So it's one thing to have it in front of you and you feel like you had to stuff it in, but actually you sit and enjoy it. You're not going to eat as much.
Yeah.
You know,
The most disappointing thing about the cruise was that the private island looks nothing like it does in the brochure.
no, the private island was fun.
Oh, it was?
Went? Bimini? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Virgin
about
private
Virgin. This one, I
Which
think
one?
it was Norwegian. And they took us to a private island, and you would have thought that the three guys that escaped from Alcatraz, there was more going on Angel Island than there was on this island. And then they had like a barbecue. That was it.
Are you a cruiser? Do you and
I used to do some MCing on sports cruises on
really?
Norwegian for a while.
Okay.
And then, I had a couple of different affiliations.
I would
with cruise
imagine you
lines.
like the cruise, not so much for the midnight buffet, but for the midnight blackjack.
No
tables, right?
simulcasting. I'm not a fan of casinos on cruise ships.
Yeah.
The odds are not in your favor. The machines are ratcheted down to the point where it's just a suction cup for your money. And then the table games, they have different rules, which anytime you're changing the rules that are already unfavorable.
I think you have a point.
I mean, what is this? The Trump administration? I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
Have you ever won the lotto?
No, not even close. Never. That's not my destiny in life, is to get lucky.
Well, hey.
For some of us, it's just work.
Yeah.
So talking about good fortune, let's talk a little bit, Nikki, about we've still got the Dine Out Lauderdale deals going on this month, all September.
When are we going to Cafe Max on that $45?
Is that on? Are they on Lauderdale?
Cafe Max is on Lauderdale.
All right, let's take a date. It's almost we're halfway through September.
They are really generous because you know how some places just have like 2 or 3 choices for the entrees, and all of them are always incredible. They craft things specially for the menu. But Cafe Max, they have like a dozen different things for each appetizer and entree, and they let you try pretty much anything that's on their regular menu. One of the many reasons that you want to check out the Dine Out Lauderdale packages, go to visitlauderdale.com/deals, and you'll see all of the more than 50 participating restaurants, and we still got 2 weeks left in September.
And you could go to the spa, but it'd be a shame if you don't do it because it really is a great opportunity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the spa deals, the packages for $99, the staycation deals at some of the weekend resorts. You know, September is the month of the year where, you know, the weather you think it's going to get better.
Does it do any good to run to your car in the rain, or should you just go ahead and face facts and realize you're going to be sopped by the time you get
I like
there
getting
anyway?
all wet.
Yeah.
But again,
it's a tropical rainstorm. You're not if you're not made of sugar or salt, you won't melt.
And I like the rain because it's been so dry this supposedly rainy season, and my pool, I've had to fill it a couple of times. Now it's nice. You get the grass is getting greener, and the pool is getting filled. And it's the time of the year. It's a perfect night. It's not like you could go out and play tennis when the courts are all slippery like this. It's a better time to go
looks
out.
like a washout for tonight's matchup.
Some of the restaurants that are around offering these great deals. And again, go down to the beach, Steak 954, and Dune, and Evelyn's at the Four Seasons, and Lona, the upscale Mexican restaurant down at that Western resort in Fort Lauderdale Beach there. All these places are taking part in the Dine Out Lauderdale deals. 3 and 4 course meals for as little as $35. And we love Visit Lauderdale. This thing, a great promotion. And again, all year long, Visit Lauderdale is going to be bringing you all kinds of fun stuff and events. And got the Greater Fort Lauderdale, Visit Lauderdale.
But there's so much happening between now and then.
Yes.
This weekend, it's Miramar's having their Latin Festival Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. They're having their event there. There's so much going on.
Well, you're
around
so
town.
modest. You don't even want to talk about how you've been honored by various organizations, right? Did I see that you were honored by the Girl Scouts?
Yes.
And you were
now, you know, everybody, the whole focus right now is on England because the Queen has passed. And what people need to realize is that girl guiding, which is what it's called in the British Caribbean, was started in England by Lord and Lady Baden-Powell.
Baden-Powell. You know how I know this?
How do you know that?
Because not only was I a Boy Scout.
Your daughter was a Girl Scout?
No, I'm an Eagle Scout.
You're an Eagle Scout.
And that's current present tense because once an Eagle Scout, you're always an Eagle Scout.
Wow.
And this shocks a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
And
yeah,
I could do, you want me to do the Scout Oath right now? On my honor, I'll do my duty.
That's awesome.
To do my best.
That's awesome. It's it's a really good foundation in life, you know, and so the founder of the Girl Scouts went from Georgia to England, saw the organization, brought it back here to the U.S. And what's lovely about the Girl Scouts, we had 2 Girl Scouts emceeing the program, along with Lori Jennings, who was a Girl Scout.
Anytime you get Lori Jennings at an event, that's class, right?
I'm pretty sure she's probably a Gold Award winner. And her sash still fits.
Is she still sending all of her jewelry to that online pawn shop?
Yes, she is.
I always wonder, the credibility of that particular ad. It's like Sabrina eating at Subway. I mean, a Although you could have thought maybe she had a couple of sandwiches. I thought they came from Subway while she was in New York City. What do you think? The only scouting I did,
funny.
I was assigned to scout for loan sharks when I was sitting on the mailboxes on the corner of Myrtle Avenue and Clinton in Brooklyn. And if we saw one of those guys coming, you had to signal the boys that it was time to run. That was it. But you guys are very honorable. And I have to say, it's an honor to be on any kind of a set with the lovely Nikki Mohan.
Yeah, that's right.
I watched in tremendous admiration for years when she was doing the news on Saturday and Sunday on Channel 10, mostly with the great Todd Tongan, and then later on for a short period after. But never was I more disappointed to see somebody. And you're thinking, well, maybe she moved to the network by design or Good Morning America. But I was so deflated, even though, the people that came on do a very good job. But I loved watching Nikki Mohan on Channel 10 News. I really did.
We missed
Thank you.
Nucky
Yeah,
on the air.
I worked 10 TV stations in 5 cities, and I was at Channel 10 the longest, 16 years, and it just was time to move on, 30
It's a tough
years. realization.
With Mike, they came to him with the buyout. With me,
Yeah.
they just said, we're going in another direction.
And me, they gave me my stuff in a box. And I was just,
Did you get escorted out by security?
No.
That's
I
so
packed
low.
my box before that happened.
Oh, good.
But no. I left on my own accord because
and everybody needs different
Yeah.
things, different chapters of
Yeah.
our lives. And
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Channel 10's loss is Broward County's gain.
Yeah,
and it's so
yeah.
great
You
having
you clear
on
the way
board.
for the other generation to do their job, and I'm watching the coverage of the Queen, and I'm thinking, wow,
Enough
I
already.
love.
Oh wait,
I
no,
love-
that's what I was thinking.
I
Bury
love-
this woman. Have
I
you
love-
said that? How many
no.
times? Bury this
She's
woman.
probably already dead. Do we know if she's really in that casket? That could be a decoy. I mean, I'm a cynic. We're journalists. We're cynics. She's
If
not
we're
really
South
in there.
Florida in a funeral home, there would be another body in a casket. That was a big story this week.
First of all, you couldn't leave a body in a casket for like a week because it'd be decomposed.
Yeah.
Well,
But
they said no. Jim Sarney was telling me the fascinating details that I haven't watched any of the coverage,
Yeah.
but that the coffin is lined with lead, and that prevents the decomposition of the body. And we've got more appetizing talk here on the Lunchbox.
Yeah.
Yesterday, colonoscopies. Today, the decomposing body of the Queen, Her Royal Majesty. But
these are things people want to know.
This won't stop me from digging into my second
Well, you're going
slice
for
of the
another one?
bomb
Mike
pie.
Mayo,
Oh,
unbelievable.
here's the hot cherry
He
pie.
gets a good report from the doctors, and look what happens, Nikki. I told you, he's out of control. He's like a
I'm
madman. out
going
of
in for
control.
what's under.
Oh yeah, go
Yeah.
for the
What's
veggie
under
The
pie.
vegetable
veggie.
one is a fantastic pizza. I'm going to get a slice
The
of that.
veggie
in,
pie.
Yeah.
It's gotten a little bit because it's been sitting here. It's a little bit in a.
I've already
soft
done my
state.
first workout, and I'll work out again tonight.
All right. Yeah,
This
I
one, though, you
always
throw
say
it-
that second
you
workout.
throw it
never
No,
in
it
the
happens.
comes
oven
out. It
at
comes
home.
in.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
happening. It's happening. The clothes are already in the back seat of the car. You have to prep. You have to prep for it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
beautiful.
Meanwhile, I'm sure you've talked about this week, but I come home and
The Dolphins won.
the Dolphins won,
They look
and the guy in the parking lot lost though, got his car burned.
Oh yeah, that one's.
Yeah,
pretty-
that was
we
pretty
didn't even
hairy.
talk about
Has that
story.
happened
I
in
gotta
the
stop
history?
eating.
I'm
I've
sure it
never
has.
heard of that.
Well, it happened to me a long time ago. I always tell this story in the air. First time I went
Wait,
to a
your
racetrack.
first ex-wife?
No, first time I went to the racetrack, we borrowed my friend's mother's car. He just got his license. We're in New York. You didn't get your license there until you were about 18. The other two guys that were with us, we didn't have licenses. Borrows the car. We go to Roosevelt Raceway. We go inside. We end up winning money on the last race, so we're the last guys out of there. We go to the parking lot. There's a just blaze coming from the parking lot. There's
Really?
only one car in the parking lot, and it was
Yours.
his car.
But you weren't tailgating. Nobody
We weren't
tailgates at the
tailgating. No,
racetrack.
a cigarette ash must have blown back in. My
Oh,
friend was
man.
smoking in the back. But imagine being the other five guys that lost their vehicles in this.
I know.
For some poor
that
fool.
is not what you want to see after, even if the Dolphins win and you win money on the game,
Yeah.
if you're
There was a Patriots fan that walked out. His car was burned and he lost. So he had a really bad
And it was
day.
Belichick.
And he said he had $3,000 in the car in cash. So he
So-
may have been.
Oh,
what I
yeah.
wonder, and I haven't looked into this because I'm no longer a working journalist, but is like, are they going to revamp now the tailgating rules to not allow live grills?
No
or
flames. Yeah, only electric.
only electric? Is that what they say? I don't
No.
know. You can't enforce that in a lot with 20,000 cars out there, and everybody is a tradition where they bring
Yeah.
their coals. But you
Well, it's
got
always
to
a good idea to shove a barbecue underneath your car,
drive right over.
running or not. I mean,
Depends if you're looking for a new vehicle.
little spark of gasoline. I mean, and it's all over. Yeah.
Oh man, that's bizarre. But again, that's what makes South Florida so crazy and the great news market that is. Hey, I think it's time we'll take another break, and we'll be back after these words from the pizza spot in Fort Lauderdale. Come on out if you want to dodge the
so good.
raindrops
Great
and get some
time, yeah,
good pizza. And it's cooling off now. That's the good part of the rain. It makes it cool off a little bit. Beautiful afternoon. busy lunch crowd here. Good to see Nikki Mohan again, and we're all chowing down on some great pizza.
So good.
I'm going in again to my bomb pie, the bacon and hot cherry
Two
peppers.
slices like it was nothing.
Like it's nothing.
I'm telling you, Lubie, when you try this,
warmed up.
it's going to test your intestinal, fortitude here. It really
He's not
is.
gonna try it.
We'll be back after these words.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauder Deals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3- and 4-course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
The second coming of
Hey, we're back.
a Sasquatch. That's what he looks like.
We're back on the Lunchbox, and we are. I've got my mouth full of food, so things
Which
are back to
not
normal.
uncommon, on the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Gotta
No,
clean-
but this is a Fort Lauderdale treasure, and the fact that they're still able to be here with everything that's going on. It
Well,
means they have a loyal following.
They opened almost 2 years ago, so they opened kind of in the middle of COVID. But there's
Uh-huh.
nothing better for a pandemic than having an outdoor pizza place where
Yep.
everything is spaced apart here and it's all open air. And of course, so during the pandemic, this was one of my go-to spots, and I got to be friendly with Wade and Reese, and it's very, very. Again, I can't talk enough about the food and even his the heroes, the subs, whatever you call them, grinders. I love that chicken parm. My daughter loves it, and of course, you'll notice of all the array of food that we got here, we got the delicious pizzas, meatballs, sub. The Caesar salad is sitting untouched.
remained untouched. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to dig in there.
Salad,
This was supposed to be my salad month, and
That hasn't started yet.
I
What
had a
is
little-
today? The 15th or something?
I was very good.
Well, today, actually, it's so funny because the 15th is the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Oh, there you
It
go.
falls. I don't want to make any late jokes, but it's September 15th to October 15th.
I was going to say, why? Yeah,
Why?
How many
Because-
months begin on the 15th?
because there are several big months of independence right now.
Oh,
There's
in
like
between.
5
I got it.
countries between the 15th and the 19th that have their national independence days. That's why Hispanic Heritage Month starts on the 15th.
So this is good to know, and this is why you're here. Because now, can you name the 5 countries whose Independence Day
I
began?
have it written down
Because I
somewhere.
know Mexico, I thought was a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
before the 15th.
I feel like
but
one is Argentina.
could be
I
Argentina.
feel like yeah.
Peruvian was
Luby's looking up.
July
We
28th
know
was Peru
Peruvian.
because we did our show up in Coral Springs at that Bravo Peruvian kitchen, which was great. And I can't wait to start doing the Visit Lauderdale segments again because we had so many great restaurants that we spotlighted and so many great stories. And I think the last one that we did before the little break was at that Il Paesano market, the lovely couple, Paula and Virgilio. And they're from South Africa, but
they're now American citizens.
They became Americans. We were talking about how they were in process, and they went for their interview and the test. And
it was a
passed.
9-year journey.
And then I actually went back to the restaurant for their pasta cheese wheel night on that day of the same day where they got the sworn in, the naturalization ceremony. Things have gotten more strict, so they couldn't invite any guests. I would have loved to have gone out there and seen it, but did the next best thing and celebrate with them and
at their place.
And it was so nice because they decorated the whole joint with American flags, and it was a very festive evening. So congrats to them, American citizens, and they will proudly vote in the upcoming election. And again, everybody, I guess the deadline for registration, if you want to vote in the midterms, is coming up soon.
If you want to vote.
If you want to vote, you should vote. Well, I'm not telling you how to vote.
There are a lot of races there. There's judges. There's, people always look at the big races, but they have to remember that it's all the local politicians that have a bigger impact on your day-to-day life.
My neighbor Scott is here. It's a pizza party here at the pizza spot today, and we're our public service announcement for the day is go out, register, and vote, but only vote one time.
And if you don't know anybody
and only vote one way,
right?
I mean, because we need to change here. We really do. The whole state of Florida.
I'm
needs
not
to change
getting
colors
into that, Defo.
I know you don't like to touch it.
Partisan, but
what do you guys think of us sending our Venezuelans to Martha's Vineyard?
What a great vacation spot. What a courtesy by Ron DeSantis.
I actually like. I look at it so many different ways. I mean, I'm not, for them, they're going to somewhere where people want them, it's a crazy move by all these governors that are doing this kind of stuff, but at least they put them on a plane. They didn't put them on a flotilla.
Well, they just dropped the Texas guy, the crazy man.
He put him on a bus. I mean, at least
dropped him off in front of Kamala Harris's house.
Yeah.
Just left them in the streets in the neighborhood. I mean, that's insane. At that point, it's really, it's for cruel
attention,
treatment
right?
of humanity.
It's for attention.
Here's
poor people's lives are in flux.
Here's what gets me, and we try not to make
it
show
be
political.
A game, though. It shouldn't become a game.
Well, that's the point. This is a serious policy issue that affects, again, the whole issue of immigration. It's been on the table and gone back and forth, and different people have different prescriptions of what needs to be done. But to pull stunts like this, and it's political stunt.
You have to hold back the
insults. And in a way, it's also trolling. It's like they're trolling the people like, oh, well, it's no problem for you because you're not on a border state. And here, now we're going to make it your problem.
But you know what's the great thing about this country?
Infantile.
I know.
I just think it's
But I'll tell you the great thing
trolling.
about this country is that because they're in the media, and if they weren't put on a plane to Massachusetts, nobody would know who they were.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to help them.
Yeah, well,
and we're
people
gonna
are
hear,
kind and caring, and when it's just
and we're going to hear years from now
400 people,
a lot of success stories out of those folks. And at least it's September; it's not in the middle of winter.
I wonder, though, when those immigrants, if they eventually do become naturalized citizens and are able to vote, who are they going to vote for? Which party?
I don't know. They'll be voting in the Hamptons, though, when they become citizens.
They're coming out of Venezuela,
right.
so
we've
they're
gone
happy they can vote.
Let's talk pizza. Hey, you know what I wanted to do is. I'm going to give Defo the boot. No, I wanted to get Tom T in here.
Come on, bring him on.
Because he's coming to Lauderdale, and I want him to be able to talk up his next roving road
show. It's so awesome to see you. He doesn't know how to treat you. You leave the man cave once.
It's okay. You know what? We made it his show, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I become the prima donna, the producer. I'm fighting with Lubie all the time. We have philosophical differences.
I'll see you at Cafe Max.
I become a tyrant.
We'll be there. Yeah, no, it's one of my favorites.
Insufferable. But no, Tom T made the trek all the way down. He's got a doctor's appointment all the way up in West Palm Beach. So I wanted to just get him on the air a little bit, have him meet the fabulous Nikki Mohan, which I don't know if Tom is originally a Lauderdale guy, Miami.
No, I stay away from rings.
Get set up here. Tom Tanazzini, friend of the show. Let's get your microphone on the other way. Actually, twist it around. Yeah, you got it.
There you go.
It's the wrong way. You got it. It works. It's good.
Works.
Testing. All right.
Howdy.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Do you know Nikki Mohan?
Nikki Mohan?
Yeah.
I get to see Joe and Tasso.
Yeah, this is
always
a party.
you.
It's a pizza party.
Amazing
my
pizza.
neighbor Scott came out. He's got his own pizza out there.
I mean,
it's all good. And but let's get to the meat of the matter. Usually you're based up in the other county, and Nikki works for Visit Lauderdale, so we like to promote Greater Fort Lauderdale, and
Indeed.
you are coming back to
I
Greater
am
Fort.
indeed.
What's
Finally.
the details? Give me the
So the
details.
details, September 30th, we're going to do Friday and Saturday. We're going to do 2 days in a row, noon to 8 both days. And I'm bringing the grill, so we're going to be doing the grilled oysters. So
And where is this?
this is it's going to be on Zero Food Truck, which is in the American Legion at 84 and 95 on the southwest corner.
State Road 84. It's just like across the street from Little Red's Diner there,
Right,
if you know
yes,
where it is.
indeed.
If you just get off 95, I don't know what the construction situation there is.
They actually,
but
the exit works now.
it
They're going
works.
south.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
you could get off the
Yeah.
exit and then just head east on 84. See the American Legion Hall. Tom and his Louisiana kitchen. He makes the greatest in Cajun and New Orleans
Thank you,
cuisine.
man. Thank you.
His
Food with
menu
love.
is awesome. And so come on out and you get a little taste of the Bayou
Indeed.
made with love. And
Indeed.
that is, and Tasso, he hears about the Bayou. And no worries, Tasso. We're not going to be cooking you, even though you're named for a ham. Tom only uses
I love my
the
tasso.
real Tasso.
We're doing the shrimp and grits actually there, and we're going to be doing the crab pasta and the grilled oysters, and I'm bringing some specials down because people have been bugging me to do more in Lauderdale, so we're going to have at it.
Excellent. Okay, so no, thanks
Love
for
you
coming
guys.
out today.
Dude, the pizza, seriously.
Give a quick review. I mean, this is a professional food.
Outstanding,
Yeah.
man. And, you know, I'm stickler for my pizza.
Yeah.
I don't like pizza in a box, and, boy, I'll tell you what, this is really good.
Meaning you don't like pizza to go. You like eating it right
I
out
like
of
it
the
when
oven.
it comes out the oven. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously it can be in a box. That's
Yeah.
fine, but I don't want to put a car and driven around, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
But, no, really
Understood.
worth the drive. I can't
and
say.
you're one of the few people who actually orders and enjoys anchovies
I
on a
do.
pizza. So that was it
I
was good.
do.
Nikki, where do you stand on anchovies? Yay or nay?
She's eating them right now.
I'm listen.
Caesar
if
dressing,
it's
yeah.
if it's if it's cooked well, I'll eat pretty much about anything.
Anything.
Atta
Excellent.
girl. Atta girl.
All good. All
The
right.
meatballs too, man.
Well, they are made
Really
in
good.
all beef meatball,
Yes.
and his sauce. He uses the tomatoes from California. Wade and
Stanislaus.
Reese, they let their food do their talking. I always say, "Hey, we're going to do a show here. Come on out." They're a two-man shop. It's a busy lunch crowd. It's great to
Yeah.
see a crowd out here, especially during some of the summertime rainstorms conditions here. But the pizza is so good
It
that
really
people
is.
just can't stay away from
The
pizza.
pizza's good. The atmosphere is good.
That
The
hot
service is
pepper
good.
one.
Well, and I think I
Oh
love
my
this
It's
God.
fire. That hot
Yeah,
pepper was
it really
fire.
is
And I
fire.
eat spicy, but
Yeah.
Lubie, don't try it. Just Lubie can't hang with that.
His fragile system can't handle
And
it.
Fragile.
he knows him.
Fragile. Must be fragile.
So the pizza spot is located at 605 Southwest 12th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. It's this Riverside Park neighborhood.
Yep.
A little bit hard to find, but once
in
you
the
find
GPS.
it,
It's really cool back here,
Yeah.
man.
you
Actually,
Gotta put it
don't
in
feel
GPS.
like you're in Fort Lauderdale. a lot
No,
of people
true
that
that.
bring here, it's like
What's easy to do is take Las Olas from behind the Broward Center, take
Yep,
that all the way
take it all the way
down,
down, make
and
a
then hang a
left
left
at
off
that little
6.
convenience store on Palm Avenue.
have the quick
Across
stop.
the swing bridge. You got the swing bridge
The
is
old
one of, I
swing
think,
bridges.
2 in the state left. And again, a little taste of old Fort Lauderdale
Yeah,
back
man.
here. I
Yeah,
love
man.
this spot. Again, thanks to Wade and Reese for all their great food and hospitality. Thanks to Tom Tanazzini for coming out again. The Louisiana
Oh,
Kitchen
your
coming
lasagna.
to you. Oh yeah, and
How
last
was the
night,
lasagna?
I had a bunch of. He makes a homemade family recipe lasagna made with crepes instead of
Right.
the
Really?
instead of
Instead
noodles.
of the pasta.
It
Huh.
is the lightest. It's
And I
so
do
good.
No
And
ricotta.
this
either.
was, and he has the bechamel sauce and a
Yeah,
little,
yeah.
and it's. So I had this in the freezer for a while. I divided it with Dick Steen. He had it the night that he had it. He proclaimed it the best lasagna he's ever
Oh,
had.
wow.
And last night I had it. This was after my procedure yesterday. I was starving. I deserved a little bit more, in preparation for my cardiologist visit. I said, let's just put a little bit of lasagna and cheese in the
Can't
oven.
go wrong.
And it took a while to heat up because that thing was
I
a
told you.
frozen block. It was
Yeah.
almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
But when it got done, oh my gosh.
That's
was that
a lot
good.
of work to make that, man.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I was one happy fat man when I finished that lasagna.
You
So
slept well.
thanks to Tom T.
Yeah,
Thanks to
man.
Joe Cassell and Tasso, the first timers on the
Tasso.
Lunchbox. Thanks to Defo for busting out of the man cave. And thanks
Yeah.
again to Neki Mohan for making a Visit Lauderdale appearance on a Visit Lauderdale
Oh, yeah.
Thursday.
You did the food's hot. And so
And
is the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
all
here.
man.
good. You know what? We're going to take tomorrow off. I'm traveling this week. I'm going to a friend's wedding up in Massachusetts. Hope
Oh,
to get a
mazel
little
tov.
fall foliage and cool weather. We'll see what happens. So don't look for us tomorrow. We'll have a replay on the radio. We'll be back live Monday with a special National Cheeseburger edition of the Lunchbox coming
Cool.
to you live from Gilbert 17th Street Grill. I was over there seeing Lenore today, setting everything up. with special guest Burger Beast, Seth Gonzalez, the Miami blogger who loves burgers, and he loves coming to Broward to check out good cheeseburgers. He loves Gilbert's. So we're going to be doing a remote show Monday at Gilbert's. Come on out if you're around. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody. And this is Mike Mayo for Mike Lubie Lubitz, Jeff Defo DeForest, Tom Tanazzini, Joe Cassell, Neki Mohan. Remember to enjoy every sandwich.
Nice. Cool.